This is iDesign Lab, a podcast where creativity and curiosity meet style and design. Curator of interiors, furnishings, and lifestyles. Hosted by Tiffany Woolley, an interior designer and a style enthusiast, along with her serial entrepreneur husband, Scott. iDesign Lab is your ultimate design podcast, where we explore the rich and vibrant world of design and its constant evolution in style and trends. Today on iDesign Lab, we are joined by Tim Snow, the driving force behind the George Snow Scholarship Fund, a powerhouse nonprofit helping South Florida students not just reach college, but thrive. Under Tim's leadership, millions in scholarships and life-changing support have opened doors for hundreds of scholars. Today, we dive into impact, opportunity, and the magic behind Boca's Ballroom battle.
Welcome to the iDesign Lab podcast. Today in the studio, we're joined by Tim Snow, who is the force behind the George Snow Scholarship Foundation. And welcome.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I'm looking forward to our conversation today.
The same. Why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself, and then we can dive into the foundation.
A lot of questions.
Yeah, actually have
sure.
a lot.
Well, again, I'm Tim Snow, so I head up the George Snow Scholarship Fund, and I was raised in Boca Raton. My family moved here in 1958, and my dad came down to be a high school math teacher, actually in Delray.
I saw that.
At what was then Seacrest High School, which is now Atlantic High School. But then later went on into real estate and construction. He started building houses as a way to supplement his income as a teacher during the summer months. And then
So innovative.
with the growth of our community, South Florida in general, that became his career. He left teaching and then started a construction company, which built a lot of homes over the years. And then our family's always been in aviation. So when he retired at a very early age, he started a helicopter charter service.
Okay.
And so that's how,
So he was a pilot.
He was a pilot. My brother's a pilot. I was a pilot.
So fascinating.
Yeah. And unfortunately, that's how he passed, was coming back from a mission from the Bahamas. And that was in 1980. Unfortunately, we never recovered his remains or the wreckage of the helicopter.
Really?
Yeah, a lot of mystery still, even to this day, surrounds that whole thing. But after he passed, we wanted to memorialize him, and he was always helping, while he was alive, always helping young people that were trying to help themselves. And so we thought, a scholarship fund would be a really good way to, kind of keep that work alive and keep his memory alive. And so we started that shortly after his passing, about a year after it actually
I was just going to ask you, yeah.
Yeah.
Like how soon?
So I've known you since the 80s.
Yeah, exactly.
Because I remember back in the 80s, us riding motorcycles and you telling me the story. And you had, I think, were just starting out creating the foundation.
Right.
And I thought it was just an incredible story. And what a thing to do, to remember your dad, to kind of keep his
it
memory
really
alive.
Is.
Yeah, well, it was, again, there were things that he was doing. My dad always did stuff and helped people, very behind the scenes and very quietly, and things that we didn't even know about until after he passed away. We get thank you letters from people after he passed, kids that he literally put through college that we didn't even
little heaven
know
winks.
about
That's
it.
amazing.
Yeah. So it was very much a natural thing to do, in his memory, and it's grown into, something pretty substantial over the years.
It really is. And so what made you decide that this was going to be like your mission afterwards in above the scholarship portion?
I just, I don't know. It suits my personality, I guess. I'm not really sure. I was building houses, I kind of followed in his footsteps a little bit. And when we created this, and then we kept seeing more and more young people that we wanted to help, but we couldn't help them because the initial funding really kind of came from mostly my dad's friends and then, the family a little bit. But my dad didn't leave like a large endowment or anything like that, which I think a lot of people think is the case. But literally every penny that we've ever given away over the years has been raised in the community.
It's amazing. So the Boca community obviously is a very important part of that. So how has that, shaped your life and values growing up in Boca since 1958?
Well, the Boca Raton community has always been a very generous community, and having not lived literally any place else, in my life,
It's pretty amazing.
I don't want to say I
really,
take it for
to
granted. I don't
say,
take it for
right?
granted, but I think it's a very unique place. I
It
don't
really
think there's
is.
any other place that I'm sure there's other communities around the country that have very much, some similarities, but as a community, we live in a remarkable place, and the community, I think, it's one of the things I'm very proud of is that it's really a community organization. It's started very grassroots. Even to this day, it's very grassroots. I love that we actually have, some of our original donors, their kids now are involved in our organization. So it definitely is a community of people that all kind of have the same thought that, education is very important, and we need to be able to provide that benefit to the young people that need a little bit of help. And there's a lot of them. As affluent as South Florida is, you'd be surprised at
sure.
how much need there is in the community.
The first few years you did this, was it a struggle getting the foundation going, trying to get the word out, trying to get momentum?
Well, like you say, momentum is a good word. So what we would do, and this is kind of the evolution of the scholarship fund, is we would have a Kentucky Derby party every year. And whatever we raised from that is what we would give away. And so I don't want to say we did it, we were running the organization passively, but, we had a board of directors, we did all the things you're supposed to do with a nonprofit, but we just didn't have anybody steering the boat, so to speak. And we kind of, stayed at where we were, giving away $8,000 to $20,000 a year. But again, we kept seeing more and more young people that we wanted to help. And so the board of directors really kind of, which I was a part of, my brother was a part of, said, we want somebody to really run this. And would you consider doing that? And so I, didn't take a lot of thought because I, kind of enjoy this kind of thing. And so I think it was in 1991 that I actually just started doing this exclusively.
Wow.
Yeah. And so then it's been, the growth curve kind of went up a little bit, and it's true. You end up gaining momentum, and sometimes it takes a long time. I mean, this is our 44th year.
That's unbelievable.
Yeah, that we've been doing.
That is really amazing. Can you share one story that was like that moment of, wow, this is really my calling. Like this is sealing the deal. Like this is what's gonna.
It's really taking off.
Yeah, that's a hard question to answer, right? Because every year we see these young people, and that one moment just gets repeated over and over again, right? Every year the kids' faces are different, but, in many ways their stories are the same. They're overcoming these challenges within their families, and a lot of them are caregivers. A lot of them are first-gen kids. And they're just like amazing. I call them rock stars.
Driven.
Because, I mean, I remember reading applications and thinking to myself, man, I am such a loser compared to, especially at that age, to this young individual. And I had the benefit of growing up in I had a mother and father in the same household. My father, was respected in the community, made a good living. I had a lot of benefits in my life, and a lot of these young people don't have that through no fault of their own. And so, that aha moment just for me always gets repeated every year. And that's what keeps you going, really.
Well, I think that you've also kind of really cornered the market, or from a standpoint from charity, from the events that you put on. The events that you put on are just phenomenal. I mean, I look at it, we go to a lot of different things over the years. I call them all rubber chicken dinners.
Yeah.
Right.
But the George Snow Foundation
It's
doesn't
not
put
like
on
that.
rubber chicken dinners where
Yeah.
you're sitting in a room and it's kind of like, okay, the night went by and all right, we raised some money, but it wasn't that exciting.
Right.
You're putting on events that,
Yes.
and I've been involved in a lot of, I sat on the board of Alonzo Mourning's Foundation for 12 years, and Dan Marino's and Chris Everett's and so many different, Andy Roddick. And the events that you do are a lot of fun.
Well,
really enjoyable.
Yeah.
And the staying power. I mean,
Right.
you haven't tired of it, like people still look forward to that.
Well, and like
They're
you say,
unique.
you gotta keep them fun. As long as people are having fun, they want to come to them.
Correct.
And like you say, I think I can't remember, but we've been doing. I think our Cowboy Ball's coming up in March, early March,
Which is a blast.
Yeah, and so we've been doing that for 32 years. And Ballroom Battle,
So
this year
fun.
will be
Which is amazing. 32 years you've been doing the same
Yeah.
event. And most events after 17 years or so forth,
Yeah, peter away.
start
or
to peter off.
Yeah.
And don't have that.
Well, people, the first event we did was a rodeo.
Okay, so
I
it's
remember
evolved from
that.
there.
Yeah.
I remember when it used to be on the polo
That's right.
grounds and they were outside and
Yeah. I mean, it's been that event has its own evolution and its own story. Like you say, it goes from the polo grounds to Old School Square to Red Reef Park.
Right.
And you just try to just make it more fun every year. And, people keep coming. As long as they keep coming and you keep making a good return on your investment, then it makes sense to keep doing it.
So the next one coming up is the Cowboy Ball.
Yes.
When is that?
That's March 6th.
And where's that going to be held?
That'll be at the Boca West
Boca
Country
West.
Club.
Okay.
Yeah.
Same as last year, correct?
Yeah, that's right.
Yes, which is a fun event.
Yeah.
And I think you kind of also capitalized over the fact the Yellowstone, the television show.
Yeah, I know.
Popular for a few years.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's right. Well, we've been around so long before Yellowstone.
Correct.
But
Correct.
listen, what people like about it is they don't have to put on a tuxedo or a brand new dress. They can just
be creative,
pull whatever they
be
got
clever.
in their closet,
It's
come
fun.
to the event, know that they're going to have a good time. And we always have a student there telling their story. So that kind of tugs at people's hearts. So it's been a good thing for us.
So you mentioned the Board of Trustees in the very beginning, kind of brought you in and was like, are you ready for let's do this?
Yeah.
How designing, a Board of Trustees, how does that even who do you rely on? Are they people that were close to your dad, close to business operator? How do you even curate that?
Well, that's a great question. And in the beginning, they were all people that were close to my dad, but they were also very influential people in the community. So, for example, we had IBM had a huge presence here
Huge at the time.
years ago, but their plant manager, my dad built a big percentage of the people that moved to Boca Raton for IBM. He built their homes.
Yeah.
So he built the plant manager's home, so they became friends. And same thing with FAU. There was a lot of people that came from outside of the area to live here, and they became my dad's friends. And so after my dad passed, a lot of them, my brother and I knew them because my dad was social with them. So they would come to the house. And so they were very amenable to being on the board and helping us.
Yeah.
And, your question of how do you design a board, you really need to get a board that is going to help the organization and
For
drive the
sure.
organization forward.
But there is like a certain nuance to that, because not everybody takes it to that level. I mean, it kind of seems like a pretty special initial group was brought together in the beginning.
Yeah, for sure. And it still is to this day.
To run with it to this level.
If you look at our board, they're all, community leaders. And you don't, for me, you've got to have somebody that's passionate about what we're doing, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's a lot of people, there's a lot of affluent people in the community you could ask to be on the board, but you've got to have somebody who's committed to the mission. And there's, we've got a big family of people that are. And so to be able to then go to them and say, hey, listen, I'd like to ask you if you'd like to take your support to another level and be on the board and really help us with fundraising and governance.
Mm-hmm.
And, everybody has their sort of area of expertise. And so being able to rely on that expertise is a real blessing to the organization.
It really is.
In almost every way you can think of, right?
Right. So who was the driving force behind, setting the tone for that mission? I'm sure there was a mission statement from the beginning. And
yeah, we weren't quite that sophisticated, I don't think, really, in the beginning. And we're actually undergoing a strategic planning process right now, which has really been we did one a couple years ago, and this one we're starting. We had a session, a day-long session, not too long ago, a couple weeks ago, and I'm really excited about going through that process again. Because it sort of redefines. You have the opportunity to redefine your core values, your mission, and your vision. And then look at, where do you want to be 3 to 5 years, and really do a deep dive into, where are our needs? What do we, how are we going to get there? We've had a lot of growth over the last,
a lot, I'm sure,
5, 6 years. Yeah. I mean, if you look at a chart of, just the scholarships and support services that we award, it's pretty crazy. You gotta do some manipulating to get it on one page, So that growth is wonderful, but with growth comes challenges as well.
Growing pains, yeah.
You need infrastructure behind it to support it. And we've been able to stay ahead of that, which is a good thing. We just opened up a 2,400 square foot. It's not necessarily an addition that is attached to our office, but it's on the same floor as our office in the same building. And that's where now all of our scholar services team
Wow,
is.
that's a big undertaking.
But it's a great spot. I love that. Like I said, love to have you guys stop by and take a look at it.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's where we got our podcast room. And
so tell us about the scholarships. You're raising a lot of money, putting on these wonderful events for the community to come to, all for a great cause. I think it's like over $5 million in scholarships you awarded this past year.
That's right. Yeah,
that's
unbelievable.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
So tell us about the program and how it's affecting
and the process.
Yeah,
for sure. Well, let me give you a little bit of background on it, right? So we already talked about kind of where we started off, $8,000 to $20,000 a year. Kept seeing more kids that we wanted to help. So,
and is it college scholarships primarily, or
started that way?
Okay.
Yeah, and it really is very much that way still. Although now we've got some dedicated money for workforce careers. And that can be anything from a 4-year nursing degree to a certification program. So we're doing that as well, which we think is really important for the community to be able to help kids that, want to pursue those careers because they're very much in need and they're very lucrative. So we've kind of morphed into that. But the real thing that kind of sets us apart, that as we were making these awards, we were seeing and we were listening to our kids, And we were seeing kind of things that they needed. Like the first thing was, I remember a young man who was literally the valedictorian of his school, went away to college, and he dropped out after the first year. So he had a hard time making that transition from high school to college. So we developed what we to this day call our high school to college transition program. And that's a 1 day long. Actually, this year we are going to expand it to maybe 2 days. But we bring in and we start. We talk about, look, this is going to be a different world, right? You know, you're not going to be talking to your high school teacher. You're talking to a professor now, and what does that look like? And what's the difference? You know, you got office hours with professors that you didn't have with teachers.
Take advantage of them, and
right. So you know, everything
housing
from
situations,
budgeting, financial management, make sure they fully understand their financial aid packages. Just anything to make that transition easier. And then we just kept listening to the kids. And I remember one year I don't even know how I came up with it, but I said to everybody interviewing, I said, ask every kid that we interview, do they have a computer to take to school?
Wow, yeah.
And 75% of them did not. So we implemented a program where they have an opportunity to get a computer from us if they need them. And that's really our, you know, what we call our support services. We've got an emergency fund for our kids now. We send them care packages. We actually, when you come by, we'll show you, we've got a closet, probably the size of this room, it's just a closet full of clothes and good clothes, you know, and shoes. So the kids, when they came home for Thanksgiving break or the holiday break, they're in there looking for winter jackets and stuff that they don't have.
Is that donated or are you buying that?
They're all donated.
That is just amazing. And I don't think I realized like that's another level of community outreach and people to be able to partake in the scholarship.
Yeah,
it's
100%.
way beyond just writing a check for school.
Yeah. No,
so how are you finding the kids? Where are they coming from? How are they?
So
do they have to reach out to you?
Yeah, well, that's a great question. So in 2026, we're going into Broward County for the first time. So what I'm telling you, the process applies to both now Palm Beach and Broward County.
Amazing.
But let's say in 2025, let's just say every school that we serve, we visit every school that we serve.
So are they high schools, elementary schools,
all
private, public?
All high schools.
All high schools.
Right. So we're looking for high school seniors who are going to be graduating in the following year. We'll go see them in October, November of their senior year. And we talk to them about our scholarship opportunity. We also educate them about other opportunities that they might have in the community, different scholarships that are not part of our organization, but we're, trying to help the kids.
So we have 3 kids in high school.
Right.
We go like American Heritage.
Yeah.
We go, they have, Career Day, where they have all the different universities and colleges,
right,
tables, and you go meet them.
Yes. We go individually. We're sometimes we'll participate in like a county-wide college fair, but what I'm talking about now is our staff individually going into the school.
So you call the school, set up a meeting.
That's right.
And then go in and talk to the kids
right,
on how you can support them and help them.
Yes.
And do you get it like
we'll get in some schools
an overflow of too many kids when you do that, or
some schools, will give us 25 kids. Some schools will have 200 kids, in the audience. And now that we're doing these workforce scholarships, we emphasize to the guidance counselors, look, we're not just looking for your, top tier students.
Brightest, right?
We want
hard workers.
Yeah, we want young people that really have a passion about something and need help. And so we get a lot of kids. And,
so do you go through those kids and kind of select who fits a certain?
So the process is that our application is online.
Mm-hmm.
So, of course, we make them aware of that. We point them in the right direction. They have until February 1st every year to complete the application. And then we have, like right now, we've got over 260 people because this year we had 3,000 applications.
2,000 applications.
3,000.
3,000.
Yeah.
Wow.
Right at 3,000. And so we've got 260 very dedicated people that will go through those applications. Every application gets read 5 times. And then they rank them. We've got a matrix. We train the reviewers, talk to them about biases and explicit biases. And then we have our own formula of evaluating the rankings or the ratings at that point, their ratings. And then we determine who we're going to interview. So we kind of know, like, okay, we've got 5.5 million this year. I think we're going to do 7 million. So we've got $7 million to give away, and that kind of translates to, X amount of students. And so for that, we're going to need to see 500 kids.
Wow.
or in this case, 7 million. We'll probably see a little
most kids looking for financial support, or
they all have a financial need of some
And
kind.
are they at different levels of the financial need? Do you actually say, like, okay, this person's going to be getting this much attributed, this one's going to be
That's right. Everybody is different. Everybody gets a different amount. And it's all we do internally within our organization. We do a need analysis on them. And it's really kind of an interesting process because, you'll have students, and this is this did happen to us. One year we had 3 young ladies from Belglade, which, as you know, is a very underserved community. They all were going to Harvard University.
Unbelievable.
But they didn't. Harvard gave them full rides, but they didn't need didn't need money. But we have that year sparked this creation of what we call our Hometown Hero Scholarship, which it's not financial, but it's all these support services, right? So these young ladies are going to go from the community of Belglade to the Harvard community, which is
Cambridge,
completely different, right? And so we are there to support them, through that transition, give them the computer that they need, any emergency funding, whatever it might be. And with that scholarship, they'll graduate debt-free from Harvard, and we'll get them through there. But we give them that support. And in other cases, it just depends on how much financial aid are they getting from the schools, the federal government, the state government, and then we try to meet that unmet need.
So there's like different categories of what you're, funding, support.
Yeah, very much so. I mean, we kind of look at it all the same. I mean, almost all of our kids that we're helping are getting these support services, along with the financial commitment. And it's a 4-year commitment, and that's really important to us too. Because we see a lot of scholarships that are like 1-year deals, and that's
that
great.
Can't really be helpful in the long run.
Wait. So you're supporting each one of these students. You're supporting them for the 4 years.
That's right.
So you're having ongoing communication with them through their 4 years of college.
That's correct. Yeah.
And it's,
and we have almost 1,000 kids in college right now. So
there's like 250 in each year, kind of. It's probably growing.
And it is growing, yes.
So that's a lot of follow-up.
It's a lot of follow-up. I mean, a lot of it. It's interesting because, first of all, they hear from us. We send them out a Monday motivational message every Monday. So that kind of keeps them understanding, look, we're back here. If you need us for anything, call us. And, they all have our staff's cell numbers, and our staff might get a call at 10 o'clock at night.
I was just going to say.
So I have to ask, how many people are on your team or on your staff?
Well, we have 16 people total within the scholarship fund. And in terms of the supports, the scholar support
It's almost
department,
like a foster child in a way. It's like you're fostering them through this experience.
well, that's right. And, probably, let's say, I'm going to say 70 to 80% of the students, they're okay. They're plugging along. They're getting great grades. They've adjusted. They're fine. So, we hear from them twice a year when they need money, and we send a check to the school on their behalf. And then that 20 to 30% of the kids that might have a family issue or some kind of a struggle, those are the ones that we have the most interaction with. And, I was just reading some background today on, we had a young lady who lost her father. So we paid for her flight home through the emergency fund. And the staff actually put together a little care package for her. They knew she had a dog, so they got her dog food and, just and that was waiting for her, when she arrived at her family's home.
This is so much more than a school scholarship.
Yeah.
I don't know if that has been like drilled out there. This really is so much more.
It's one thing just raising money and putting on these events. That's a whole entity in itself.
Right.
You're running now a whole nother organization that I've been to, I don't know how many of your events over the years. I didn't know all this.
Yeah, it's a lot, but I tell you, we've got an amazing team that are doing this. Leslie Cornwell, who's our really kind of heads up our effort, and everybody kind of falls underneath her. But she's been with us for a very long time, and we tell the kids, look, you're now part of our family, and so we're going to do for you and that's what drives us. Like if there's a question, like somebody says, well, would you should we do this? The first question we ask ourselves is, would we do that for our own children? And if the answer is yes, then
we would do it.
We'll do it,
Do you ever partner with, just because of thinking locally, like FAU or like a Lynn University or any online schools, in addition to just the financial component, like helping them even getting into programs?
We partner with Palm Beach State. We do some things with Lynn. We do a lot with FAU as well. For example, Van Williams, who's the provost at the Boca campus for Palm Beach State College, he hosts a reception for every class of our kids that come there. So I think we've got almost 100 kids at that school right now. But he hosts a reception, and he brings in all of his deans. So the financial, the dean of financial aid, the student life, so our kids get to meet those people
very
on campus.
Specialized
and so they kind of are like a priority for the school. And we do the same thing with FAU, where their career services department we work very closely with. They've got a whole team of people that deal with the first gen population, and so those folks, and they come to our high school to college transition program and do introductory kind of a little seminar for them. So we do a lot of partnerships, and we're looking to expand that into not so much the local schools, because we've got great relationships there, but we also have
out of state.
Not so much out of state, but University of Florida, we have a lot of students there. All of the 75% of our students stay in Florida because they're getting bright futures. And
what about the Florida Prepaid? Can you, as a charity organization, do anything?
Yeah, well,
buying into that, or
you must have done your homework. So, interestingly, I've been told. So, the answer is yes. And what we do is we have a partnership with the Florida Prepaid Foundation, and so we're purchasing. Last year, we purchased 100, and I'm going to say 135. It's not exactly that number, but about that number. Florida Prepaid programs.
Mm.
And so a lot of our kids are getting 4 years tuition. That's just part of their award from us. So we purchase that from the state of Florida. They match it
Wow.
dollar for dollar. Actually, the value is
Much more. It's
much more than
maximizing
that.
your money tremendously.
And then we'll piggyback on that more financial aid because they need books. Tuition is really only a third of the cost of attendance.
Correct. And like housing,
food,
transport.
room and board, all that. So that's a big component of what we do.
I mean, I was going to say that's such a huge component opportunity to like continuing this and growing it.
Yeah. And like I said, I did 130 last year. I'll do 200 this year because of our move into Broward County.
So how did you realize now is the time to now branch out?
Well,
obviously the need is there. I mean,
yeah, the need is there.
But
and
to be able to service.
It's taken on a lot more.
Taken on a lot
schools.
more, but we've been very fortunate that we got funding, to do that, right?
Mm-hmm.
And again, it was interesting because, and I'm probably not answering your question, but we learned. Well, let me answer your question first. I guess going into Broward County, we had a very generous contribution from the Frederick A. DeLuca Foundation.
Okay. Yeah.
And so that's going to underwrite 100 additional scholarships down in Broward County. And so they also understand the need for infrastructure to support that. So they've helped us with adding to our infrastructure, which we would not have been able to do it without that, right? I mean, Broward County is actually a bigger school district than Palm Beach County, believe it or not.
I don't think I realized that.
Yeah, and it's a different, it's sort of demographics are very different down there.
Mm-hmm.
And so, but we've been really embraced, the school district of Broward County has really embraced us so much. So we've got a great relationship with them. And again, we're going to every school down there, did go to every school down there. I think we got 1,200 applications from that county. For our first year. That was crazy. I thought if we got 500 applications, we'd be doing good. So it's, then that's what's going to kind of push us over probably the $7 million mark this year.
So exciting. One thing that I appreciate about the foundation too is it's kind of based on such a positive growing step in somebody's life. It's not like a hard luck situation. It's not like somebody coming back from something. It's really giving foundational support to giving a chance to those in need.
Well, you're 100% right. I mean, it's listen, I've been doing this for 44 years, right? Which is crazy to actually say that, but and I know that a baby born in Belle Glade or Pahokee is going to have the same talent and ability as a baby born in Boca Raton, right?
Absolutely.
But the thing that they don't have is the same opportunities. And so that's what we're here to do, is to level that playing field out for those young people that don't have necessarily the opportunities that someone born. Again, I look at myself. I had all the opportunities, and I didn't have challenges necessarily, but these young people do. And so, and I can tell you without a question. These young people that I'm talking about, they are amazing young people.
Well, it's like rewarding good behavior. I mean, I love that, to really be able to dive in and support somebody who just needs that extra support because they're willing to work hard. They're willing to believe that they're capable and deserving and
well, and by the time they get to us, they've got a track record of that,
right?
That we can see, and we know that they are willing to help themselves and others, and And so who doesn't want to help somebody
No,
like
and I
that,
feel like
right?
that's so unique to so many, to different foundations that are around today. I feel like a lot of them are, like I said, somewhat more of a hard luck story, where this is really just, rewarding good behavior.
Yeah.
And I feel like our world benefits from that in a lot of ways.
Well, it does, and we need to give them that opportunity, because our community in the end benefits from it, right?
True.
When they come back, they're, I mean, I tell you a story about but a young man from Belglade, and now he's back in the community. His family literally were working in the fields in Belglade, in the Western communities, and he's now graduated from the Harvard Kennedy School of Government, and
Unbelievable.
and he's back in South Florida, not only contributing to our community, but selfishly contributing back to the scholarship fund as well.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
So how many do come back to South Florida? Like, have you been able to track that, or
That's something we really want to dive into?
Almost like an alumni association.
But how many have come back to South Florida? How many have you actually helped over 44 years?
3,600.
3,600
students, yeah. So we'll probably get over that 4,000 mark in 2026.
Wow.
Yeah. But that's a good question. It's something we want to know, and a lot of the reason we want to know it is we want to know why they're not back here, right? We know housing is a big issue for a lot of them.
I know.
So is there something we can do in that arena that might be helpful to them? But we also want to get them internships here so that they make relationships.
That's what I was wondering too. Yeah, partnering with, especially with so much growth in South Florida now.
Right.
That I would think there's some strategic growth there.
Yeah.
So is that a new initiative that you're working to
implement?
It
is. Yeah. We've just in the last couple of years developed a career development department where we've got, experts really that are guiding our kids and trying to give them hard skills and soft skills that they need to get the best job that they can get after they graduate. So, a quick example is Danielle Rossi and her restaurant, Oceans 234, does a dining etiquette course for our kids.
I love it.
And she does an amazing job with it. And so they learn the things that they just don't know, right? And what I love about the way she does it, she doesn't just serve them a meal. It's things that they maybe have never eaten before, oysters or carpaccio or sushi or ceviche,
right? Broaden their palate.
Yeah, they just and it's fun to go through that with them.
Absolutely. So would you like using that as an analogy? I mean, there's obviously a lot of mentors then also. Are these people doing this as a community service, or how does donating time? How can one get more involved?
Well, there's a ton of ways to get involved with us, really. And we've got a whole section on our website that folks can go and look and see what the different opportunities are. Everything from baking cookies for our care packages that we send to the kids every winter when they do right before their final exams, we send it to them.
You're sending packages to the schools where the kids are.
We sent over 700 care packages out this year, and had I can't even tell you, over 150 people baking. I baked 24 dozen cookies. I was going to
say, this is all such really great information. Yeah. I love that because there's so much even we could be putting our kids involved in.
Well, and that's what the bake, you talk about that, but that's. A lot of the people that bake, they engage their kids in it.
Yeah.
And their kids are writing notes to our kids, saying good luck. And it really, it is totally a community deal. I mean, all the way around.
It really is. So obviously, in addition to the fabulous events that we do attend, and we have obviously the website, what are other ways that you can partake in the community during the year, getting involved? do you come to your office, or is it donations or
Well,
mentoring?
donations are a big part of it. Obviously, right?
Mhm.
People come to us. They know that we have the infrastructure to. A lot of people come to create their own scholarship programs with us. We make it turnkey. They have to do three things. They have to figure out what they want to name it, how much money do they want to give to it, and what's the criteria of student that they want to help. And we handle everything from that point on. And so we have a lot of folks that do that, a lot of people that just make general contributions to us, which we absolutely need. And then with our programming, it's very hard to, get specific on what we need. But, like I remember somebody, he was a quantitative analyst, and he kind of, we had lunch together and we talked about his work, and we asked him to come in and analyze our selection process. Right. And so
you can,
everybody's got something that they
talent
can offer us to make our organization better, to make our programs better. If you've got, like I said, we're giving computers, or there's just so many different ways. I mean, I could go on and on.
So what's the initial ask, I guess, to create a scholarship underneath your?
So they should be ready to commit $10,000.
Okay.
And then it goes up from there. A lot of people create endowments with us as well. Our average award this last year, 2025, I think it was about $14,000. And so we're trying to, get a meaningful financial contribution to the students, again, lasting over those 4 years.
Right.
And so, but $10,000 is what we would look for.
Too. And that's like creating a scholarship in
somebody's name.
Mhm.
Okay.
And they'll come to the awards reception that we host and present the kids with a medal and get their picture taken with them, and meet the kids, their parents, and feel that gratitude.
Right.
That
And you can
these young
put
people,
the face and
absolutely,
the story kind of on a personal
Is there a
aspect.
particular story of a student over the years that stands out?
I mean, we've got people working on the Artemis project right now. We've got at least a couple kids up there. So, we've got my dermatologist was one of our scholars.
Wow.
Again, it's just they're amazing people, and they come back and they're part of the community, and that's what we want to just keep going. Because again, it makes our community a better place.
So you said keep going, and obviously like the growth it speaks for itself, 40 years and continuing and growing exponentially. I know you mentioned you have a podcast coming. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, so we've been doing a podcast for about a year now, and our objective there is, I mean, I don't have any aspirations that we're going to be any social media star or anything, but really all we're trying to do is educate young people and their families about continuing their education after college, right? Whether that's through a VOTEC or a 4-year career.
After college.
I'm sorry, after high school.
After high school.
Yeah, thank you for correcting me on that. After high school. So we talk about student debt. We talk about financial aid. We talk about, writing college applications.
Resumes.
Everything. And trying to get, experts to come in to advise our kids on it. And it's been fun. And I think, the podcast, I think, is really, it's first of all, it's gaining traction, but it's really giving valuable information to young people who are,
who need answers.
And they can listen to this and make informed decisions. I talked about the student debt. We educate the kids a lot about the student debt.
Well, that's a big thing with college now, is so many people are coming out in so much debt that
But kids are picking, they're maybe not making a wise choice on where
Where
they
to
want
go
to
to
go to
school.
school,
I
right? They want
know.
to go to the University of Alabama. They're going to have to pay out-of-state tuition. They're going to have student debt when they can, literally stay in Florida, get an outstanding education, and maybe graduate debt-free. So those are the kind of topics that we like to cover with our podcast.
Which I think is so amazing because everybody's story in general you learn from through communicating and being out there. Everybody has something to share and you can gain something from there.
Absolutely.
So you have the Cowboy Ball coming up. What else you have? Events for the public? Because I think that's a place where the more people that attend and learn and have fun in that.
So we'll do a golf tournament in September.
Okay.
We're doing that at Royal Palm. I'm not sure if we have a date for that, but it'll be probably in late September. And then this year, Ballroom Battle, which we normally would do in September, is going to take place on November 7th.
So tell us about, we know what that, but
I know, but I do love it.
Let's talk about that for a few minutes.
Yeah, for sure.
That's a very interesting, fun event.
How that came about, how you select everybody.
Yeah, well, it came about.
So before how it came about, tell us what it is. So people.
So what it is
know.
it's called Boca's Ballroom Battle, and we select 8 people in the community, recognizable people in the community. To be what we call our community dancers. And we partner with the Fred Astaire Dance Studio in Boca Raton. And we pair them up with a dance professional and they learn a dance routine.
So it's like Dancing with the Stars, but in Boca Raton.
Exactly.
The stars are the stars and
it becomes really a great
living in Boca or South Florida.
Right. And we sell it out every year. We sell out every sponsorship every year. There's 900 people over at the Boca Raton.
Wild.
And it is such a great event for so many reasons. But what I love about it is all the positive energy that's in the room. So people go, oftentimes they're there to support one person, but they end up cheering everybody on because they, look, everybody says America's #1 fear is public speaking. Well, that's nothing compared to dancing in front of 900 people, I will tell you. So it takes a lot of courage to agree to do this, and we've been really fortunate. I think we've had 144 people do it already.
Wow.
There's a lot of energy in that room.
A lot of positive energy in that room. And it's just, and they do such a great job. I mean, Fred Astaire does such a great job of, having them learn this routine and teaching them the routine. It's just, I don't know. I can't say enough good things about it.
I couldn't agree more.
Unfortunately, there's not a room bigger locally.
Yeah, because we could sell more tickets.
I think you could sell twice as many.
Yeah, it's a big deal.
How do you go about deciding who to bring on?
Well, we kind of keep a running list, believe it or not, of folks, and then we kind of sit down. And it's interesting because obviously for us, what we're trying to do is cast a wide net of spheres of influence, right? So we're not going to ask somebody that, maybe are best friends that they're going to be calling the same people to raise money because it's, as you probably know, it's not a dance competition. It's a fundraising competition.
Correct. Yeah. Who can raise the most amount for their dance?
That's right.
Yeah.
Yep. And so.
And all the mini events that take place along the way too.
That's right.
Yeah.
It's wild.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's been a game changer for us. When we started this 19 years ago, we were giving away $330,000 a year, and now we're giving away, I think, over $7 million in 2026. So, and a lot of that, it's been a blessing, not just from the financial part of it, but it brings awareness to the organization and what we're doing. And again, it's people that maybe have never heard of us before. They come to that event, they hear one of our kids speak, they hear about the numbers, they hear about the support services, And it's just been a remarkable benefit to us to be able to spread the word and then to grow our population of people that help us.
So is that your biggest event
It
of
is.
the year?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
Definitely, by far.
Well, it's a fun one.
Yeah.
Oh, well, that's exciting. And then the Cowboy Ball, as Scott mentioned, is coming up.
Coming up, yeah, March 6th.
And then you do the golf.
The golf. So we do three fundraising events.
Big fundraising events.
Yeah, and our events, we've got some great people in our events department, but we do other events like our awards reception, which is really not open to the public, but to our donors. And then we do 2 guidance counselor appreciation breakfasts in both, one in Broward County and one in Palm Beach County. And so that really is our opportunity to get the guidance departments teed up. Look, we're going to be coming into your school. These are some new initiatives that we're, promoting.
So you're looking for, I would guess, volunteers to help you with these events.
We're looking for volunteers to help us with it. We're looking for sponsors to help us with it too, right?
Yeah.
Because
Right.
those things are programmatic, but they still cost us a lot of money to host, 150 people at a hotel down in Broward or
Right.
Palm Beach.
So where do you see, the scholarship, George Snow scholarship going in the future? Obviously, you're going into Broward County. Is your hope to see this go throughout Florida? Do you partner with any other scholarship, funding in other states?
You have
or
future plans,
where's
aspirations, and goals?
I think really looking at it, at least for me, realistically, is because we are so hands-on with
and you
our
don't want to
kids.
lose that either.
That's the most important thing for
I
us
agree.
is the quality of our programs. So we're not going to expand unless we're able to continue that same level of service
I like that.
Right.
to our kids. And so that's what really determines our growth. To me, somebody could say they want to do a scholarship in Dade County, but unless we were able to really, because let's say somebody wanted to do that, I'd have to go to every school in Dade County, and I can't do that. So it's really a function of maintaining the quality of service to our kids, and then the funding to send them to school.
Right.
And then we just take a look at everything in that kind of lens and make a determination on that from there.
So for people who are listening or watching, where should they go to learn more?
We've got a great website, scholarship.org, and they can go there and learn everything they want to know about us.
Scholarship.org.
Yeah.
Well, that was wonderful. Thank you so much for your time today.
I appreciate you guys sitting down and talking with me.
I
had a
we
lot
look
of fun.
forward to attending and supporting and getting our kids involved too.
Yeah.
Well, we certainly welcome that. We appreciate all that you do for us. And like you say, known you guys for a long time. We have a lot of history together.
I know it was
done a lot
fun
of stuff
coming
together.
back into the fold in the last few years with
We're
the
glad
stewards
you did.
and everything. So thank you.
Thank you
Thanks
guys.
for coming.
You bet.
Stopping by.
Thank you for listening to iDesign Lab.
iDesign Labs podcast is an SW Group production in association with the 5-Star and TW Interiors. To learn more about iDesign Lab or TW Interiors, please visit twinteriors.com.